Do a little hair fluff. Okay.
Look at you, Keeley.
All right. Welcome, Ivy,
Wow.
to the podcast.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. This is exciting.
How long did it take for you to get over here?
Okay, so, there was just traffic, but it took like 15 minutes to get here.
You're practically a neighbor when it comes to talking about Los Angeles.
Yeah, without traffic, it's literally 5 minutes away.
I know.
I can't believe that it happened like this.
What do you mean? Happened like this?
Okay, so literally a year ago last month, that was whenever we first came, me and Fisher, my boyfriend Fisher, came to LA. And so we loved in Venice where you live. And so the fact that we literally, the only place we got accepted to is 5 minutes away. Pretty crazy.
I still haven't been over, but that's okay.
There's not much to say, honestly.
I want to meet those kitties. So this girl, she has 2 cats. What's their names?
Banksy and Franklin.
Tell me why.
Okay,
How did you come up with these names?
Literally, Banksy is named after the artist, but to be honest, whenever I was naming Banksy, I literally just looked at a bank outside and I was like, Banksy. Like I was doing names in my head, like flower, just literally things that I saw driving down the road. And then I thought Banksy sounded cool. And then later someone's like, oh, did you name her after the artist? And I'm like, yeah, sure I did, I guess.
I mean, that's what I thought when you were talking about Banksy.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that Banksy. Did you know of Banksy before?
Yes, I know of Banksy, so it's crazy that it didn't even click. But
it didn't register. Okay.
That's her name, and I moved here with Banksy, so she's my girl. And then we got Franklin, who he's just a wild little stinky farting thing.
He's a kitten that farts a lot. Okay.
Yeah, those are my cats.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay, so I know you recently moved out here to LA from North Carolina, where I'm from. That's how we know each other, is from North Carolina, working on creative projects in North Carolina. And then I kind of left North Carolina for a while and then came back and visited and we connected. Tell me, when did we start collaborating, basically?
I'm pretty sure the first time we met, we were working with Yaze.
Jazz?
Yeah.
Jazz.
I'm pretty sure it was with Jazz. That one shoot with Zhenya and everybody. That big shoot we did. And so at the Bohemian Hotel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was one of our first collaborations. But I knew of you in Asheville because we
did the creative expression. Yeah, for the creative expression.
Yeah. That was my first video on my YouTube.
It's so good. I can't find it anymore.
It's on my YouTube channel. So.
I need that link.
Okay. So back up.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
You were a model in Asheville. You're still a model, but okay, so that's how I knew of you, was that you were modeling around town. And was that your first creative endeavor, or what was your first creative thing?
So I mean, I've been creating literally my whole life, always. I used to do a lot of collages, and before I had a laptop, which is literally when I went to college, I got a real laptop that had GarageBand on it. So that's whenever I started making music. But I was making music on the piano. I was writing songs in high school and stuff, and I would record it. And there is some YouTube videos out there of those songs that I decided to keep.
How old were you when you were making these songs?
I was 16, 17, 18.
So still in high school?
Yeah, still in high school. On the piano, I wrote these songs. And then when I came into college, I was friends with a lot of musical theater students and film students. And so one of the film students just used me as a model one day. And I posted the pictures and everybody was freaking out. And then people started contacting me, and I went to Asheville and it just kind
Wait,
of
so when
up in
you
it.
did this first photo shoot, how old were you, do you think?
I was like 18. Yeah.
Okay.
I was 18.
And so what really attracted you with modeling? Like that was your first creative endeavor.
Yeah.
Like your biggest thing that you're known for in our little town in North Carolina.
I like the fact that with modeling I can just like shape shift. I can be and I'm really good at being so many different things. Like right now, like I might seem like a chill artsy girl, but like I can completely change my whole entire look and like take on a whole different character and be like this glam like diva, like almost in drag, and like really embody that. So I like that aspect of modeling.
You want to get dolled up, basically.
I like getting dolled up and like portraying like an alter ego almost. It's like through modeling I was really like expressing myself like in an alter ego kind of, because whenever I look at myself in those pictures it's like that's me but it's not me, like that's the like extended version of myself that's like more
but was it
dramatic.
always your vision, or were people like putting their vision on
It
you,
was
basically?
always other people's vision.
Right.
But
And that's the thing with modeling.
Yeah, I liked doing my own photo shoots though, because I took film classes in college, so like I know how to like set up a camera and stuff, and so whenever I was taking those classes, I really started doing like self photography, and so I like that aspect of like doing photo shoots by myself and collaborating with people like you and Jazz. Like when the communication's open, it's so beautiful. That's what I love about LA is there's so many people to collab with too. So I want to get back into modeling.
Oh, really?
It was really 2020 that like put a halt to everything. Because I was in Paris right before
Oh yeah, I remember
lockdown.
that.
I literally got back from Paris a week later. Trump like sent out that thing that was like, if you're in like a different country by this day, like you're gonna like have to stay there.
Oh my God. So you didn't want to stay in Paris?
I mean, I would have loved to stay in Paris.
Yeah, but who knows where have you been now?
I know, right? But yeah, so it's crazy how much like 2020 like really changed everything. That's how I started creating clothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So modeling, that is so interesting, like the whole concept of modeling and all of that. And then you broke away from, you kind of took a hiatus from modeling to explore clothing, which it seems like you always had like a fascination with like clothing, because you're modeling clothing.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, I'm gonna make some clothes. Yeah.
Well,
tell me
a
more.
lot of people that I modeled for, like, no offense if they're listening to this, but I mean, like, some people, I mean, they're just kind of And like, whenever I was modeling, like, some of those designers, which I will never name, I'm just like, I could do better than this.
Oh,
Yeah.
you were trying to
Not like show or
upstage
prove
them.
anything, but I was just like, wait a minute. I can create my own clothes and I can be the model for my own clothes.
Yeah,
And like kind of combine these worlds.
exactly. So when you're creating like clothing, I want to know like your creative process. So when you first started, like what really inspired you when creating clothing? Like what were you doing, and then how has it evolved, basically?
Okay, so whenever I first started, it was like I discovered bleach and like throw a party.
Yeah.
Let's bleach everything, like literally.
Whoa.
And so I was fascinated with how the bleach could change color and like how like sometimes if you stopped it fast enough, it wouldn't just be like all the way white, like it'd be a different shade. And so I was just doing like drawing with the bleach on shirts like from Walmart, and
You were buying t-shirts from Walmart?
so it kind of started like that. It started like that. I was buying like shirts from Walmart, and then I was like painting bleach with them, and then like going to Goodwill. I started going to Goodwill and was like, what if I like took some of this fabric and like put it onto this shirt and like made some patches or like create words or pictures with other fabric. So it was a lot of that and a lot of tie-dyeing. Oh my God. In 2020, I was tie-dyeing like nobody's business. Like,
Okay, so it sounds like a lot of fumes going into your head. I feel like a lot of people are thinking about that right now. Like
oh my
you were
gosh, and I
huffing
was
some
spray
fumes.
painting.
Lord help you.
I mean,
There's a
gosh,
lot of like
a lot going
fumes
on.
to the brain.
But then it started getting into more of like, okay, I want to create my own silhouettes. Like, I want to make my own clothing from scratch, like with the patterns. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm like, I only am using donated or thrifted clothing because
So you don't buy linens, basically, from
no, I don't
Joann's.
go and buy stuff from Walmart like I used to do. Like,
okay.
I will only buy things from a thrift store. If I want to like get new fabric or if it's donated, because like I'm just trying to be sustainable as I possibly can. And sometimes it's hard. Like sometimes I do need certain things, so I'll just go and get it. I'm not trying to make it like hard for myself.
Right, because you need like that fresh look.
Yeah.
And how are you going to get that fresh look without like getting some fresh materials?
Exactly. And I just like really taking something that I hate how it looks and then giving it a whole different look, like with a whole different
transformation,
transforming things. So that's been a lot of fun. I really like making clothes.
So that's exciting. So how many clothes do you think you have like right now that you've made and that you want to sell? Like,
okay, well, in total, like with everything I've sold, like, baby, how much do you think have I made?
That you have in the apartment?
No, like since it started.
Over time?
Yeah.
Probably
like 1,000 things.
Exactly.
Okay, but how many things do you have
right now
in your apartment right now? In your tiny little studio?
Probably like 50.
Probably like 50, yeah. I've sold a lot of stuff before I came here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 50. Are those all new items or things that you made in the past?
A lot of them are brand new. Let's see. I've made about 5 new complete garments since being in LA from scratch. And then I brought like 40 things with me.
Very cool.
So it was all like stuff that I had made in preparation for moving to LA too, because I wanted to have stuff to like use set up at flea markets, which I want to like get into.
Yeah, and that's a whole process, like being able to, and people don't realize this, like it's not just anyone setting up on the Venice Beach like boardwalk. Like you have to have like a permit and sign up for all that.
Don't now.
Really?
Yeah, just literally anyone can set up on the boardwalk.
What?
Yeah, I don't want to set up on the boardwalk anymore. We
you
kind of
wanted
discovered.
that
when you first. Yeah, but now like there's a way I want to present my art, and that's not it.
Oh.
And also, apparently, it's illegal to sell clothes on the boardwalk, on the strip. You can't.
It's illegal.
Sell clothes. You can't do clothes. You can do art, other art, but not clothes. And
why?
Because the shops have their clothes. And so they don't want
special interest here. Okay.
They don't want competition.
They don't want clothes cluttering up the boardwalk. Okay, I get it.
I'd put everybody out of business. That's fine.
Okay, so I want to backtrack a little bit. I want to ask you like some philosophical questions, like some out there questions. So creativity, like for you, it is a broad topic, but like for you, what does it mean to be an artist?
For me, an artist, I define myself as an artist because I have to create. Like, I can't just, like, all day, I can't just sit there and, like, be still and, like, stare at my phone. Some days I can, whenever I'm tired, but, I mean, going on a normal day, like, I have to be creating something. And it's like I have a message almost that I need to share with the world too, which kind of like really is very strong in my creative works. But like to be an artist, I think that you have a calling like in you to always be creating, whether the public sees it or not.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like this whole thing with validation of your art, like it shouldn't be that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are driven by like sharing their art, not and the finished product, not really the process. And for me, like, you know, I've been painting like my whole like life basically, and I do that for myself. And
That's
not
really
a lot of people
cool.
know that. Maybe in the workspace.
Yeah, like
'Cause
I didn't know that.
I'm working in VR and all this stuff, so I'm
Mhm.
creating in other ways. But that's like my little like side hobby.
That's
that
so
I
cool.
love.
It's kind of secret.
Yeah, but I don't do it for anyone else. Like it's for me.
Yeah.
But if people want to appreciate it, like that's like a cherry on the
Yeah.
cake. Basically.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think part of the thing behind like monetizing your creative talents is that sometimes it can get really hard. Like it can get really hard sometimes whenever I'm creating and I have to like snap back into it and be like, Ivy, you're not creating something that you think people are going to buy. You're creating something because you want to create something. Like period. And I try not to let that influence me because I know
Right.
that my like originality and uniqueness is what people want. Like that's why
That's what they
buy my
gravitate
stuff. So I
towards.
don't need to try to tailor towards anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It can get confusing sometimes.
Yeah, and when I was trying to sell my art, like I felt like I was trying to do that same thing as like make something that someone's gonna want to buy, but that to me just felt icky and like you're selling your art just to make it buy, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and so
make ends meet.
It's like especially like with moving here and everything and really embracing that like this is what I want to do. I want to work in the creative industry with my music and like my clothing and modeling and whatever else I want to do creatively. Like if that's what I want to do for a living, like I have to find the balance. And so I feel really really good with my balance right now in life. And I kind of made sure I was that way before. Like,
So what are you doing to balance your life? A lot of
well,
people talk
it's really
about
just
that.
my mind. It's all in my mind, really. And it's like I have to like I need to work every day and like get things done, but also I need to do it in a way that is healthy for me and not like push myself too hard, not try to force the art out of me, like try to just let it flow. And if I can let it flow, like to me that is the balance. Like having a good time and like making really great stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, having a balanced headspace is really important.
Yeah, headspace.
Yeah. A lot of people struggle to find that work-life balance, and it sounds like you're doing a lot of work like from home. It sounds like so. You know, finding that balance could be a little hard because it all leaches into your home life and all of that. But like, it is who you are. Like, being an artist is who you are, and I find like a lot of artists like identify with being an artist. You know, I feel that way with you when I hear about like what you're doing and like your passion behind it all. So yeah, you feel like you're more like getting closer to the creator when you're creating. Like I heard you say, I couldn't imagine doing anything else but creating art, and that's exactly how I feel too. Like that's just like music to my ears because honestly, I haven't really heard many people like talk like that, and that's why I feel a connection with you is that you feel like you can't do anything else, whether it's modeling, making music, or creating some dope like Ivy drip clothing. You know, like you can't envision doing anything else.
And like some people can take that and say, okay, so are you trying to run from something? Because are you trying to distract yourself with like constantly occupying your thoughts? But that's really not it for me because I do a lot of like shadow work like internally, like while I'm working. Like I really put all of my energy like into everything I'm doing, really, because while I'm working, I'm thinking and I'm listening to podcasts that are like talking about good things and healthy mindsets. And so that really helps me. And I don't make art as like trying to escape. I am escaping, but also I'm like thankful.
No, I feel like it's not really an escape. It's more of like a philosophical thing. Like there's nothing else you'd rather do in this moment besides be in the moment and create something from your heart and like your soul, and just let that reflect back what's in your soul, basically.
Yeah.
You know? You could get really philosophical with it, but to me, like, creating art is definitely a spiritual practice, and can put me in like a meditative state, basically.
Definitely. I can relate to that.
Yeah, like it's very hypnotizing. Like you could just get in a zone and that flow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, because we've all been there, like feeling that flow, whether it's
flow.
you know, you're running or doing some kind of sport or you're painting. You're just in the flow. You're one with the universe, right?
Yeah.
It feels magical.
It is magical. I think it is.
Yeah. So anyways, going back to, I mentioned music, but you haven't talked much about music. Where are you at with music? So Ivy and I, just a background, we have collaborated so much with her music. Like we've made music videos in VR, virtual reality in North Carolina, and now in California. We shot in Santa Monica Pier. So tell me about what's going on with your music.
So I am working on new music. I have a lot of new music that is not released yet. And so this year I decided not to release any music, mainly just because
This whole year you haven't released any?
No, this whole year I haven't released any music because I've just been stressed out.
I mean,
with
moving across the whole country.
With moving across the whole country. Sorry, I can't make any music right now.
I mean,
no,
that's
I'm just kidding.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal, yeah. So with that, that's why I haven't released anything. Also, I kind of just like, music to me is so spiritual. Like it is like sacred level for me. So in order for me to be able to make music, I have to be in the perfect condition, like unbothered, in my zone, safe. And so I've just recently been able to like start getting into making music again since moving. And I have a lot of stuff that I want to release. I was thinking about, I want to release another album, but I'm not big enough. I don't have a big enough fan base to release a successful album. Like, it might be better if I go with the algorithm and release like singles each week. Like release one single like each Friday.
Then it's an album.
And then it's an album just in single form.
It's like a series.
Everything's changing so much. Like, for an album, really, like Arrival, it was really, I wanted it to like kind of tell a story kind of and flow more, and it was more conceptual for me. But everything that I've been making, it's not really like flowing together. So I'm thinking about just making it all singles.
Okay.
But I constantly have so many music ideas in my head. But trust me, the music is coming. If that's what you want to know,
Foreshadowing.
it's coming. I definitely am going to release a new song in the beginning of next year. One of the songs that I've been working on, it's called... Actually, I'm not going to say it.
Oh, don't say it. Don't ruin it. Keep it a secret.
Yeah. And it's so much better than everything that I've released in the past. I feel like whenever I tell people to listen to my music right now, I feel like they're looking at a different Ivy. But I guess that's just how it is as a creative.
Yeah, I mean, you're always transforming. I mean, face it, you released a song like a year ago, and you're a completely different person, having a completely different experience with your move and focusing on fashion and clothing and selling your clothes and making a website and all this other stuff. you're a different person in a different state, which is really exciting. Like, okay, so when I first moved to LA, I was in heaven. Like, just because all of the palm trees. I don't know.
I love the palm trees.
I was obsessed with the palm trees. I don't know. They're just unique. When you come from the East Coast, like, we do not have palm trees like here. And did you know that the palm trees in California are not native to California? I don't know who planted them, but they're not native to California.
I didn't know that.
I know, it's very shocking because they look so native now.
Yeah, I love the tall ones.
It's beautiful, and the sunsets and the sunrises are beautiful here.
So gorgeous.
And so when I first moved to California, I was just full of inspiration, like seeing all the people, seeing all the creative artists here, and immersing myself in all of the artists. Even like, I moved during the pandemic too, and it was like in the heat of the pandemic. And my back end story is that I moved to Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I had the quintessential, like, Hollywood roommate situation. Like, it was really funny, like, living in a huge house with an amazing view in the hills with five other people. Like, it was chaos.
Yeah,
But within the chaos, I found, like, the coolest person to collaborate with, an actress, and we hit the ground running, writing a little short VR film, and we shot it, and oh my god, I just felt so creative here.
That's so good. Yeah.
And I can only imagine what you're feeling now. Like,
I feel that same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like so encouraged here to be creative, which, I mean, I feel like that's a first for me.
Really?
Because
Tell me more.
Like, okay, growing up, whenever I wanted to go to college, I wanted to go to college for art, and my parents said, no, you can't do that. Guess what? My brother's about to graduate college for art.
Why? He must have been so inspired by you.
Oh, he's so talented. But anyway, younger sibling always gets it easier, I guess. But so I couldn't go to college for art, and wait, what was I saying about that?
You couldn't do that, and so you felt really suppressed.
It's encouraged here. Like, I feel like more in the small town areas, like, if you say you're an artist, people are like, okay, like,
you're
cool.
crazy.
Go get a job.
Looney Tune.
And it's like, you can't be an artist and that be your job in a small town. Like, that's just like, people are like, okay, that's
you're gonna be starving.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, my family, whenever I started like doing the Depop, which is the primary app I sell like my clothes on besides my website, Depop.
Oh, I've never heard of this. Okay.
Yeah, it's nice. You guys should check it out. Ivy Drip Streetwear. But I was doing that and making so much money, and my mom was like, Ivy, you need to get a job. And I'm like, I'm making good money though. Like, this is a job. Do you think I'm sitting at home like with my feet up all day? No, I'm like doing all that behind the scenes work, baby. And so it was kind of hard to prove myself. I've had to prove myself, like, I feel like, in a small town. But here
I felt that too,
in LA, it's encouraged. And maybe it even if it wasn't encouraged, everyone around you is creating. And so it creates that energy, that buzz, that creative energy is just in the air. And it's so, like, intoxicating. Like, I just, like, love it. I'm just, like, eating it all up.
It's palpable.
Yeah, I just love the energy here. And yeah, it's been really overwhelming a lot of times, but
tell me about the overwhelming, because you've told me about this several times.
Yeah,
you were just overwhelmed. Like, okay, so give us a background on where you come from, and then where you know, LA is just hustle and bustle, like everyone's going, like doing something, like busy, like
it's
bees
a
over
huge
here.
city.
Yeah,
I'm from a really small town called Franklin, and that's what I named my cat, Franklin. But a really small town, and I mean, like, I grew up, my dad was a Baptist preacher for like a little bit, and most of my childhood, and my grandfather is still a Baptist preacher. So it's just been like a really strict Southern household my whole life. And really, like, my family, they encourage me with everything I do. Don't get me wrong, my parents are amazing. I love my parents. They encourage me, but a lot of the things that I've done wasn't really, like, taken seriously.
Ooh.
So, like, coming here and talking to people that have lived here their whole life and, like, seeing the schools, like, where they're encouraging art, like, for the young kids on, like, Abbott Kinney, it's so beautiful to me. I really think that the culture here is positive, even though there can also be negative aspects. I mean, it's a big city, so there's a lot of stuff thrown in your face all the time, like with beauty and such like that. But I mean, if you're in the right mindset and you look past all that, like, this place is so great for me personally. To thrive.
Yeah, just not getting lost in the sauce of the hustle and everybody.
So whenever I first came here, the sounds, like, outside were driving me crazy. I couldn't sleep. Like, I thought people were breaking in every second.
Whoa.
Because I'm just
you would hear all these sounds in your apartment and the sirens. I mean, you can't get away from that in a big city.
I expected it coming here, but I didn't ever think I was actually going to, like, go into shock. And, like, I've, like, multiple times, like, had a crying breakdown, like, just, like, intense, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what am I doing? Like, this city is so big, like, and I am so small, like,
but you're not.
What am I doing?
You're not.
But the longer that I'm here, the better I feel. And I mean, I've had a really great week. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds like you went through, like, this dark night of the soul experience, like, really, like, going deep into your soul, like, trying to figure out what's going on with life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I feel really good now.
Yeah, I mean, you're on the other end, and now it's just up from here, you know? Like,
I was so depressed in North Carolina. I wanted to, like, slam my head against the wall. Like,
well, don't do that, baby.
I was, like, counting down the days to move. Baby, what did I do? Talk about it every single day?
Every single day for
hours.
Well over a year.
Was it everything you expected?
Yeah, and more. Yeah. It is.
All the craziness that comes
It's better than I expected.
Really?
I never expected, like, I don't know, it just feels like a second home. Now it feels like home.
Yeah. So, what? On a side note, like, I know that you were going to college in North Carolina, and then you kind of just took a hiatus from school. Right now, I am, like, paying the price for going to college. And, like, you know, I am doing what I did go to school for. So that's really cool. I went to school for new media. So learning editing and all of that. But at the time, like, VR really wasn't that popular. So, but I kind of, like, faded into VR and this new medium. But, you know, I'm really paying the price for that diploma in college, and I'm paying off my student loans now. And it's so rewarding. But I think it's really interesting that you kind of, like, just kind of stop going to school to focus on becoming an entrepreneur in a field that you feel confident in. I think it's really smart. What do you think?
I think it's smart too. Yeah. And honestly, like, it's just been my gut. Like, my gut's like, I have to do this. And, like, I don't know, whenever I decide I'm going to do something, like, I do it. And so I'm really determined like that. Really, like, strong-headed or whatever it is.
I just think that people are graduating in debt to their eyeballs is the saying. Like,
yeah,
it's not
really
sustainable for young entrepreneurs, young adults being in debt for something that they could have learned on YouTube.
Right. That's the thing. It's like a collision of the generations, I feel like, with college right now.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can learn something in class and then literally go online and then, oh, wait, I could have learned this for free. Or, like, multiple occasions in, like, accounting classes and, like, quantitative analysis. Like, I would have to go online, YouTube, like how to do something, and then that video would teach me better than what I learned in the class.
Story of my college career. No offense, professors. I
Right.
loved you
Right.
in my department, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I did learn a lot in college. That's why
Life
I'm
skills.
not like, that's why I'm not motivated to go back and finish, because I feel like I learned enough.
Probably. And you're probably
But I mean, I always like learning, but yeah.
Learning never stops, but you're in the real world, and I feel that college is so removed from real world experience. It's a lot of philosophical, like if this happened then this, and history and things like this, but not really like life experience, like teaching you how to make it in business and starting a business. And unless you go into business, they're not teaching you like how to do your taxes in college or in high school.
Right.
Which
yeah.
is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah. That is crazy.
So getting that hands-on experience right off the bat and not paying for it in college. Yeah, I envy you.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, that college wasn't free. I mean, I basically did four and a half years.
You did 4.5 years. Oh, okay. I thought you did
Yeah,
like 2
I
or
was
3.
going for a double major in
Jeez.
business and business administration and management.
Hey, well, at least you did business, and now you're doing business in the real world.
I
so.
know, right? Feels good.
Yeah.
Feels really good to be here.
Yeah.
And like, you and I feel like we could create just like all day, all the time. Like, we're just constantly like having content like for that. So like being here now, like together, I feel like we could like create a lot.
Yeah. So one thing that I admire with you and that I really relate to with you is that you have so many different mediums that you connect with, whether it's modeling, music, or making clothing or painting. This girl just painted this painting. Let me see this painting. Where is it?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see this painting.
Well,
What's going on here?
Fisher
Come on.
is adding to it.
Yeah, so we got Fisher in the house. He'll come on the next pod. Okay, what is going on here, Ivy?
Yes.
Tell me about this.
So I painted the background and the main face with the eye, yeah. And then Fisher did all the monsters around the edges.
Monsters. Okay, little monster.
It's
Okay,
our
so
collab.
So what?
It looks so good.
What were you thinking about when you made this piece?
I don't know. I was thinking about shapes. And colors.
Come on, let's
Then,
dive in deep to this.
So okay, if you want me to get deep,
Let's dive deep.
So like it to me like kind of represents like how LA can be like really hypnotic, like a hypnotic devil almost, and like I threw the lizard eye in there because it gave me like Illuminati vibes.
Dude, that's exactly.
And then this person has like super plumped up lips because you gotta have the plumped up lips in LA.
Oh my god.
And so that's the LA monster, I guess.
Ooh, LA monster in the house. Okay. So the first time I saw this piece was on your IG. I was creeping up on your story as everyone else does, and
A lot of
I
people
saw
be
this
creeping
piece.
on my story.
I saw this piece, and I was one of them. I saw this piece, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, what is Ivy going through right now? Because that shit looks like some Illuminati
What is
stuff.
Ivy going through?
You should
really
see my
funny.
TikTok feed because it's all about this stuff. It's so
I know,
fascinating.
you told me so much of your
Dude.
theories.
And the little devil thing, like, that is so Hollywood.
Right.
That is so Hollywood with the lips.
Mhm.
Yeah. So hypnotic little devil Illuminati with monsters. Wow.
Mhm. That's what I was going through, I guess.
So okay. So with the eyeball here,
Mhm. Third eye.
third eye there, and then it's very lizard with a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Tell me some more about this lizard eyeball.
Okay, well, I wanted to do like a realistic eye in a rectangle as the third eye.
Mm-hmm.
And I opened up Pinterest, typed in eye, and I was looking at all these different pictures of eyes. And I saw this one of the lizard. And to me, it stood out the most. And then I started thinking about how it would really fit in with this painting. And then I was like, wait, this is kind of like Illuminati almost. So I decided to go with that one.
Okay.
And then I painted it in my best ability.
I love it. I think the shape of the head is like crazy.
Oh, I
in the best
love
way.
doing the crazy abstract head shapes.
It's really hypnotic.
Yeah, I know, right? And I like all the colors.
And the funny thing is about this painting is that the hypnotic eye, like the eyes are in a hypnotic trance, and yet the third eye is a lizard. So is this a lizard devil? I don't know. But that's what's going through my mind. This hypnotic lizard person with big lips like the Kim Kardashian types out there.
Yeah.
Okay, on a side note, what do you think about Balenciaga? Have you been following the story?
Oh, God.
We don't have to go in deep.
I mean, okay, so what do I think about it? I think Balenciaga, what? That's what I think.
I say Balenciaga, rip. Rest in peace.
Oh, I think they can definitely come back from this.
I don't want them to.
Really?
No.
You don't like Balenciaga?
Not anymore.
Oh, shit. Crap. I guess that can ruin a lot whenever you mess up like that. But I do love Balenciaga's. Their marketing is just
Not anymore.
not anymore apparently. I don't know if this is a marketing scheme, but
Yeah, that's what I thought of when looking at this piece for some reason, too.
cool.
That's what came
Okay.
up for me. What comes up for you guys
Yeah.
when you look at this little art piece?
It'll be for sale soon.
Soon. It's not finished yet.
Not
Fisher
finished
is
yet.
putting on his finishing details.
Yeah. Then we're gonna put a
And
gloss
all of
over
this, adding the little monster details. So yeah. So do you think anyone could be an artist?
I think that if someone has to question whether or not they're an artist, they're not an artist. Or if someone has to question if, like, what do I need to do to be an artist? That person's not an artist. Like, if
You just
you're an artist,
are.
you just are. Like, you can't help it. You just create. And maybe some artists don't know that they're artists. Maybe some artists are just doodling on their, like, notes at school, and they just doodle because they're like, yeah, I just do this to listen or whatever. I think that is kind of an artist, like, in his truest form. Like, you're just doing that to doodle just because. I don't know.
So that it goes back to like, what does it mean to be an artist? It just seems so philosophical. Like if it's a philosophical idea of like what an artist is. You know.
I mean, and also, like, I mean, if you want to get real deep with it, what is art even? Art can be just the whole reality of life. Like, art can be you're born and you go through all these actions and then you die. That's art. Like, your life can be art, you know? So really, what is an artist? An artist can just be a normal person living their daily life, like going to work with the 9 to 5, baby. That could be their art.
Well, I think you could have a 9-to-5 job and still like pursue whatever it is, whatever type of art you're making.
Oh, definitely. 110%.
It doesn't have to be your full existence.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it just depends on how deep you want to look at it.
Yeah, but I also think that for me, I have a hard time. I struggle with the type of artist that just paints like a color block or just a line or the trash of art, like makes a piece that looks like trash. Like, to me, that really doesn't evoke any inspiration or any feeling to me except for blah, like ugh.
Yeah.
Like, and we've all been to those museums that showcase these kinds of pieces of art, you know, the minimalist pieces of art, contemporary art that just doesn't evoke any emotion.
Right. Well, sometimes those big like pigmented pieces, they can actually be like that's the first time someone even like painted with that color. Like, I mean, like I know there are some paintings in museums where it will just be one gradient of a pigment, and that's the first time like in history someone even discovered that color and they painted the whole thing.
Are you thinking of a specific artist? Do you know?
No, I don't know in particular. I saw this TikTok and it was talking about that.
It all goes back to TikTok.
But honestly, like I feel like if you look at something and it makes you feel something, even if it makes you feel kind of pissed off that it's a shitty piece of art, I mean, that's still art.
So, for example, I went to Harvard recently.
Oh.
And there is a art museum at Harvard. And so I went through the whole art museum. I went on the first floor, and of course I was drawn to all of the Pablo Picassos, and they even had Van Gogh, which their collection was phenomenal, by the way. But then you go to this room in Harvard Art Museum, and this room has all of this art that's just inspired by death, and it's all contemporary, kind of like modern art. And I just have a hard time connecting to it, because when I view art, I want to feel some kind of emotion, not necessarily doom and gloom. I want to be inspired. But having said that, I love the art like from Renaissance, Baroque style art that has that deep emotion. And a lot of those art pieces were really trying to capture real life, like reality in a way, like a picture, because at the time they didn't have pictures. They couldn't take pictures in the 1700s. So they wanted to paint it, or in the 1600s. So
yeah,
that's what I think about. And when I see art from recent years, like modern art, like in the last 100 years, they're not really trying to capture that moment like realistically. It's kind of like silly depictions of doom and gloom that I noticed that at the art museum that I went to. And that's just like the type of art that I can't connect with. I don't know why.
There's a lot of art that I can't connect with either.
Like what?
I mean, just like ones that like I don't, it's not my taste.
Well, okay, so what do you mean by that? What's your taste? What do you not gravitate towards? Let's think about that.
With art, I normally am drawn to colors, the use of colors, and conceptually like what's happening. I normally want what's happening to be something positive to look at visually. Like, for example, I had these two like BDSM prints that we got.
BDSM.
It was like cartoon
risky
drawings that we got from Asheville.
Oh, cool.
And I had to take them down because I didn't like looking at like a monster with like its like chain around its neck or whatever, like
choking.
To me, like it was like right now I'm in LA, I've escaped, so looking at those arts, like maybe when I was in North Carolina and I did feel trapped, looking at those pictures kind of made me feel like some comfort, like it was like relatable almost. But now that I'm free, I don't want to be looking at those.
Free bird over here.
So I had to put them away. So like I guess my taste changes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying that when you were living in North Carolina, you were really feeling trapped and constrained, and so whenever you're looking at a piece of art, it like reflects the moment that you're in now.
Yeah, I like to look at art, and whatever art is around me, like if I have it on my walls, like I want it to interpret what I'm going
through. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So now, you're just not interested in that negative vibe right now. But with this painting, you're kind of exploring your inner devil.
With that painting, I just, honestly, I mean, with painting, so this is a whole new thing for me. So
Oh, really?
I just kind of wanted to have no idea in my head, and it just evolved into this. Honestly, whenever I started, like I knew that like there was like a face there. It started with a circle, so I like had this circle theme going on, and so it started with a circle, and then it kind of graduated into like a little devil face, and then it created this.
Very, very cool. Very inspired,
Thank
Ivy.
you.
So this is off topic. Have you been over to like Hollywood, like West Hollywood? Have you explored over there?
We have not done
What?
a lot of exploring, honestly, at all. But we did go to the Hollywood Park, and we looked at the Hollywood sign.
Nice.
And took a picture with it.
That was recent. Yeah.
Mhm, that was recent. So that was good. I was
Yeah.
a little tourist.
It's the best. Be a tourist in your town. It's like a little vacation getaway.
Yeah, and I feel kind of cool.
I recommend. I feel like you would like to just explore West Hollywood. Like,
Okay.
There's a really cool street called Melrose, which is where
Okay, yeah,
all of the
Melrose.
fashion stuff is in
Yeah.
West Hollywood on Melrose.
Okay.
We should go explore that
Yeah,
area.
we should.
But yeah, you should definitely check that out. And then I recently went to the Comedy Store for the first time, and I loved it.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I went to the smallest room in the house, which is the belly room, and I just admire comedians so much getting on stage and just being a fool for everyone to laugh at.
Yeah.
It's the best, and I'm sure they have the best adrenaline ever. It's so inspiring.
That sounds fun.
So I recently did that, but yeah, it's great to immerse yourself into different mediums too. Like I could totally respect the life of a comedian and getting up there and all of that. And
too.
same with you. I respect you getting out there and making clothing. Like I don't think I could ever make clothing, so it's just inspiring to see you grow. What's your latest piece?
Inspiring. I
you're
just finished a corset top that is featuring this OnlyFans shirt I got, and it has a bunch of fans
Okay,
on
so
it.
what does it look like? Like, give me a description.
Okay,
Tell me on
so-
your body. Like, how does it look?
Right, so it's like a tank top, crop top, and it's all like patchwork kind of, and in the back it closes with buttons. A lot of
Whoa,
buttons.
buttons. Okay, I
And,
wasn't thinking buttons.
Yeah, lots of buttons in the back. And it is featuring a t-shirt from Teen Heart's brand that said OnlyFans, and it was covered in like actual fans, like blowing fans.
That's funny.
And so it has a bunch of fans all over it, and then the back says OnlyFans.
Do you have an OnlyFans account?
I do not.
Okay, good. I just
don't
had to
have
ask.
an OnlyFans. Don't look. And if you find one, it's not me. So, I mean, I've thought about it so many times. I mean, like, that's like
I
genius.
know.
It's literally genius.
I know.
I mean, maybe one day I'll have an OnlyFans.
I don't have an OnlyFans either.
Not yet. One day, maybe. I'll make an OnlyFans. It'll just be like me talking. Whatever.
Yeah, same. If I ever made an OnlyFans account, it's not happening anytime soon. But it's funny that you made a corset with fans on it.
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
support it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's awesome. Tell everyone where they can find your
Me.
work.
Okay, you can find me at www.shopivydrip.com. That's shopivdrip.com. And also, if you go to my Instagram, _Ivy Hawkins, that is my username for TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Depop is ivydrip_streetwear. You guys follow me, find me on Spotify, Ivy Hawkins, everything Ivy Hawkins, that's me.
Yeah, you got to check out her music. It's the bomb. No one says that anymore. That's like from the 90s. But
We
no,
say
it's way cooler than
It's
that.
the bomb.
Yeah, dude, I love her music. So check out her music
Thank
on
you.
Spotify and our music videos that we've done with Ivy.
Yeah, YouTube too.
Dude, Ivy drip on your body everywhere.
Everywhere.
In your mind.
I do customs too. I do custom work.
She's doing all kinds of
I do it
custom work
all.
out here. She does it all. She's
Yeah.
a creator. Okay.
I'm a future self-made millionaire. That's me.
Totally. Put out that energy. Manifest it, baby. Okay, that's a wrap. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
You got the force. Get me to a doctor. You hit me with the magic potion. Ooh.
so much fun. I learned so much about Ivy today. Thank you for watching. My name is Keeley Turner. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, bell button, you know the jazz. Every YouTuber says that. And I will see you in the metaverse.